Well, hello and welcome to another Organized Living episode. And I'm excited because I have a fellow organizer, Tiffany Blassingame, and she's going to be joining me talking about co-parenting. But before we get into the conversation, I need to share with you her background. So it says Tiffany is the owner of Simply Organization in Atlanta, Georgia, and specializes in student organizing. She provides opportunities for students and families to practice and build organized and productive habits so that they can move more successful at home, work, and school. Tiffany is passionate about helping to create a more just and equitable environment in both the professional and organizing and educational industries. She is the member of NAPA, which is the National Association of Productivity Organizers, as well as the founding member of the National Association of Black Professional Organizers. And Tiffany is committed to students, motivated her to open a school in 2021 that supports executive function skills of young leaders. And we're going to talk about that too. But Tiffany, welcome. Thank you so much for joining me.
Thank you for having me. This is exciting.
So, and we're talking about co-parenting because in addition to, being a mother, but you're also, really focused on students. So, what are some of the challenges you faced as a co-parent?
I divorced when my son was very young, a toddler. The first thing I had to really understand was the difference between co-parenting and parallel parenting. Where co-parenting is when we're actually sharing overlapping responsibilities for the care and raising of the child. And parallel parenting is, I do what I'm doing over here, you do what you're doing over there, and you know, it is what it is. And so I wanted a relationship with my ex-husband that was one that would be co-parenting, if at all possible, because to me that is the most ideal. Um, and what I recognized was that there was a lot of cost to the two of us being unorganized. Um, we were already going through something very emotional, and so being unorganized just increased, excessive stimuli for our brains to really process. And we know that about being organized in general. So imagine also going through a divorce and trying to keep up with everything, right? Um, I didn't want my son to grow up. I want him to have like a healthy relationship with me. I didn't want to increase like this parentification of him also being the other parent and having to take care of things. Like I wanted him to be able to enjoy being a kid, being a tween, being a teen, without taking on the extra responsibilities of the home. And of course there's just so much frustration around not being able to find things because your mind is just full of just brain fog basically, and then the financial stress of also
Yeah.
um, being divorced and then not being organized where you can't find this. Let me just hurry up and go and buy this. There's a birthday party coming up. I thought I bought this, but now let me just go and buy it again. Just all of that type of stress that comes financially. So those were like the challenges that I felt I had. And I was a naturally organized person. So when I saw myself not being able to keep up with systems and keep up with objects, and my money was always looking funny, um, that's when I knew that I needed to take the skills that I already knew and had and transfer them to this situation.
So, what are some of the strategies that you took from being organized and also being a co-parent and just helping both everybody involved better manage home and life?
Mm. Um, so the first thing was like creating a routine
Mm-hmm.
so that my son and I and my ex-husband knew what was happening at all times, right? And so, before going to daycare, My son knew like what he could grab for a snack in the car. We had the alarm that went off at the same time every morning during the week. I packed everything for the daycare at the night before. We had a garage, so I would even just go ahead and put the stuff in the car, except for like if there was anything that needed to be cold. Like, I would have that bag. I would still have that lunch bag or whatever out on the counter, so I would remember to to put those things in there and go out the door. Um, this is something that we did. I'm not sure if it fits for everyone, but we bought two of everything.
Okay.
So when he started, like, being able to put his own clothes away, um, having like the little plastic pull out drawers by Sterilite, those little cube type things
Hmm.
where he could
Hmm.
put things away. I would ask his dad, like, would you like that at your house too? Like he can do the same things when you're washing clothes and putting things away, like he could have that in his room at your house. So we began to talk about buying two of everything. I was one that, would buy the clothes for the next season on the clearance of the season before.
Smart.
And so that way I could, get two of everything. Like, this shirt is only $2. I'll get two of them. You can have these clothes at your house. I have these clothes at my house. That limited, you know, him feeling like he's, packing up to go somewhere on the weekends. Like you just going. Your dad is picking you up. You're going to your next home, right? So that was another strategy. Um, we stuck to a shared pickup and drop off time. It was shared, it was standard, it was what we did. So that was easy for my son because then he knew what to expect when. And if there were any times, where things had to change, then we could adjust for that. But we were able to, come up with a good pickup drop off time that worked for everybody. We planned out our holidays for the year. So that way, it wasn't this tug of war when Thanksgiving is coming up, Christmas coming up, Easter, we had already planned that out, like who was going to do what. And then our families were also aware of that. So there was no like, oh, well, I was hoping he would be here to open up presents on Christmas Day. Or I was hoping, like, look, we already got it settled. Like, this is what we're doing. And over time, parents just got used to it, right? They knew that we would work it out and everything was fine and they would see the kid. And
Hmm.
so that was another big piece. And then financially, um, I recommend for most people three different types of finance strategies. There's the spend bill system. So one person spends the money, and then you just tell them, this is how much I spent, and this is what you owe me. And that for some people that works. There's just a flat rate. This is how much they're paying in child support. So this is how you make it work out of what comes from the child support. Or the 50-50. I bought this. Next time I need you to get this part. And doing the same thing with time as well, right? Like I took them to get the cleaning. I took off work to do that, but they have a cavity, so I need you to set up the next appointment and take them for that. So those are just like my two big ones, my few big ones around finances, time, and environment.
Uh-huh.
But it just takes intentionality.
Wow. Wow. I mean, Tiffany, just hearing you talk is like really, you and your ex-husband really were strategic in what you were doing. I
Hmm.
mean, I feel like I feel like you need to like have a group, a coaching session, a book or something, because it seems like you really thought out all the details and it's all those things that cause it, all the issues. I mean, I love the fact that your son never really felt like he was packing up to go somewhere. He was just jumping in the car, going here, staying, spending time here, or, when he came back. So it was never any of that he had to emotionally go through. And then even with, planning things out for a year, having everybody involved. Because like you said, people are like, well, I thought he was going to come over here and open up his Christmas presents and
Yes,
down.
yes.
So, and I mean, wow, wow. I mean, really, I think you need to write a book or do something.
I'll think about that.
So, are there any specific tools? Because I know you talked about the drawer system for your son's,
Mhm.
clothes, but are any other tools that you use that were really helpful?
Um, Very simple things, many times divorced families are tight on cash. So, very simple things like sticky notes. I will put sticky notes everywhere. There's a sticky note on the back door that says turn the alarm off before I open it. Just, yeah, because you got the child, you got the bag, you got sticky notes everywhere to just keep your sanity. And that is okay. I kept sticky notes by the side of my bed, and if something came to mind, I would write it down, and then I might go put it on the bathroom mirror so that when I woke up, I would remember to do that thing. Just trying to offload all that in your brain really helps. And a calendar. I kept a calendar and planner for myself, but we also had a shared digital calendar. We use Cozy app um, because you can color code and you can put things in the Cozy app. You can make shopping lists and you can share lists within that app, or either just a simple Gmail calendar works as well. And the notes feature on our phones. We're iPhone users, so we have the notes app. We do shared notes when I go to the doctor. And my son is 17 now, and he had surgery about a year ago. We use that every time we're doing the follow up appointments. We use the shared notes. Whoever took him, pictures of the X-ray went in there. You can put everything in there. And as a family now, we have our group texts, and we we still stay connected as a family.
Ooh, that is wonderful. Wow. Well, I still think you need to do a book or something. But before we share with viewers how they get in contact with you. So in 2021, you opened a school. So let's talk about that a little bit.
Oh, thanks for letting me talk about that. Yes, I opened a school. The school is designed for to give culturally inclusive education and anti-racist education to our youngest learners. It was a response to the pandemic. Just the impact of what it had on young kids. I am an educator. So that was one big piece of that for the youngest learners. And so I started last year with kids kindergarten through grade 2 here in Atlanta. And now we've moved to third grade this year, and we'll keep adding until we get to fifth grade. And my third through fifth graders are more focused on, like, they have planners for the day. They have they're very independent. It's more like we have whole group time, and then they're given assignments. They have their timers. They know how long they have to work on something. They know what they do when they're finished. So it's just teaching them to manage their time,
Mhm.
and manage their emotions. When they get frustrated with something, trying to solve problems, that emotional regulation. And then for my youngest learners, everything is modeled for them. So they've got their schedule for the day. They're learning how to tell time. They are the same thing around managing their emotions and staying on track, but they are more independent thinkers. So no one's like doing it for you, right? You have what you need to do. You have ways that you can get help and support, but you're going to be working on how to plan and prioritize and figure out how to get things done for the day.
Wow, that is wonderful. Congratulations,
Thank
Tiffany.
you. Thank
So
you so
how
much.
can so how can listeners connect with you? Oh, I should say listeners, watchers and listeners.
Okay. You can follow me on Facebook and Instagram. You can follow Simple Organization at TW Blass, Blass. TWBLASS. And you can also follow the school at the Ferguson School. Ferguson is our maiden, I guess, family line. My mother, my grandmother, my great grandmother were all teachers.
Oh, wow.
The Ferguson School is the name of the school. So you can follow us on Facebook and Instagram as well.
Wow. And of course, those watching, I will have a link so you can connect directly with Tiffany. Tiffany, thank you so much for your time today.
Thank you.